Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Today, we're talking about Love is Blind, episode number 11. I caught up, y'all. I caught up. Episode 11. I was a little bit behind, worried about if I could make it before March 6th for the finale. Did it. Watched the episodes, got caught up. Hey, if you're new here, welcome to the Jack and Glenn channel. It's a channel where we talk about reality TV, where we talk about Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, Ready to Love, all your reality TV shows that deal with relationship. Myself and my wife, Jack's not doing Love is Blind with me, but she is doing Married at First Sight. So if you want to check that out as well. But hey, we're going to talk about Love is Blind, episode number 11. Oh, man, let's get started. We're still at the cookout, right? Everybody's still at the cookout. People are still upset over Sarah Ann. Let's go back here. Let's start here. Sarah Ann has a conversation with AD. AD's the champ here, right? AD's that friend that holds you accountable. AD's that friend that say, guess what, girl? I like you. We're friends. We don't have any issue, but you're wrong. Dead wrong, right? You're dead wrong. AD holds Sarah Ann accountable during this episode. Hats off to AD. Shout out to AD, because what she says is this: girl, you sent him this message and you knew he was engaged. Matter of fact, you sent this message knowing that he was on the honeymoon with this girl, right? Like the first part of her message was fine. You know, I appreciate the time in the pod. I like the fact we're together. It was the last line that really took everything off. Because I read this to Jack, like, yo, what do you think about the last line? What do you think about this? And she was like, yo, everything is good except for the part she says, if it does not work out, I want to leave the door open. Kind of, right? Like, if it doesn't work out, I'm here for you. You can't say that, right? Now that open for when you say that to a guy, it really opens the door, especially the guy that you had as number one, right? Especially a guy that you had sexual chemistry with, right? Just through talking. He hadn't even seen you yet, and he wanted to be with you sexually. So you can't say that to the guy like, hey, by the way, I'm leaving the door open. That is, you're asking for problems. You're asking for trouble. You're asking for situations to come that is totally out of your control, that you can't handle. So the floodgate was open, but AD was pounding on that. Like every time Sarah Ann was like, no, AD was like, let me talk. All right, you didn't let me finish speaking. Like you're wrong. You don't think you was wrong? And Sarah Ann like, no, I don't think I was wrong. I don't think I did anything wrong. Well, you did do something wrong. You knew he was still engaged. You knew that him and Laura were still together. You knew that night where he took you to your apartment, even though you might not have did anything sexually, you should have said, hey, dog, I can't do this. Go home. I know alcohol was flowing. He should have said it, right? Both of y'all should have had a common sense, say, you know what? This is not right. I appreciate you, but we can't do this, right? I can't do this. And he should have said, I'm in love with Laura, or I like Laura. It's fine. Thank you for the DM. Thank you for the Instagram message. It was good. Keep it moving. You shouldn't be there alone with somebody if you know you like them, right? If I still have a relationship with somebody, I shouldn't be there. I give you an example. Me and my wife just got married. I had some female friends. Like, yo, I mean, when I say female friends, they were female friends. I hadn't slept with none of them, but it was cool. We ride or die, right? There came a point in time I said, yo, I just cut it off. Like, we can't do this. All right, we can't be, because again, I don't want my evil to be spoken, my good to be evil spoken of. I don't want the narrative of things happening that are not happening. You can't create the narrative. Jeremy created a narrative. Sarah Ann was involved with this, and it plays a role. It is terrible, right? AD, again, hats off to AD for challenging Sarah Ann, for calling Sarah Ann out, making her kind of upset, uncomfortable. Majority of women, at the end of the day, AD say, I'm Team Laura, right? I think in the vignette, she's like, I'm Team Laura. I think most of the women here are Team Laura and not Team Sarah Ann. Even though they think Sarah Ann's a likable person or liked her while she was in the pod, this changed a lot of people's mind on Sarah Ann. But guess what? Sarah Ann is on a mindset where she went and talked to Jeremy. They finally had a conversation. Laura's looking at this as they go and have the conversation. But before that, Laura and Jeremy have a conversation. He was like, yo, I tried to text you and you didn't respond to my messages and you didn't do this. And at the end of the day, she was like, yo, I don't want to deal with you. Like, we don't want to deal. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with you at all. Jeremy couldn't see what he did wrong in this situation. Jeremy doesn't understand how detrimental this looked. He doesn't understand how you broke somebody's heart, right? You might not intentionally try to break her heart, but you broke her heart. At this point, if he really wanted a relationship, he should have been forgiving. He should have been quiet. Should have been like, hey, I apologize. I'm sorry. She didn't want to deal with him. Didn't want to talk to him. And basically the relationship is over. They're not getting married. It is done. She did keep the ring though. It is one of those things where you saw this coming, right? Even in the pods, you kind of saw this coming, that he didn't really want to pick Laura. I think I said in one of my first interviews, first reviews, like Laura came out of nowhere, right? Sarah Ann is the narrative that Netflix wanted to show, that him and Sarah Ann had a thing, and boom, Sarah pops in. Excuse me, him and Sarah Ann had a thing. Him and Sarah Ann had a thing, and then Laura pops in. It is one of those things. This is a tragedy who played out on television for the world to see, and you broke the young lady's heart. Her heart is broken. I don't know if she can trust anymore, right? That's how deep this thing has gone. It's ripped her to the core. She is emotionally disturbed, right? She's come on the camera, she's like, I would never see or talk to Jeremy again. She doesn't want to talk to him. Jeremy could comfort her saying, look, he made the wrong decision in the pods. Man, Jeremy talks about, in his mind, he feel like he made the wrong decision in the pod. In his mind, he felt like, I should have been with Sarah Ann from the get-go. So takes me now to Sarah Ann and Jeremy have a conversation. Jeremy and Sarah Ann, they go down to the bottom of the dock. They just start discussing, and Sarah Ann started crying like, hey, everybody think I'm doing something wrong. I don't think I did anything wrong. And he was like, no, I don't think you did anything wrong. He's like, yo, he's playing the game. He's manipulating her right now. He's telling her everything she wants to hear. Like, no, I don't think you did anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. It was cool. I should have chose you in the first place. And Sarah Ann was like, yeah, you kind of basically like, if you would have chosen me in the first place, we wouldn't be going through this drama at all, right? We wouldn't be going through this if you had chosen me in the first place. Well, he should have chose you in the first place. His heart was there. His mind was there. He thought Laura was more fun, right? Fun, not love, but fun. You got to have a mixture of both. Got to have a balance. All right. And then this is the I don't give a F moment of the show, right? They're like, yo, you know what? You want to go jet skiing? Let's go have fun. Let's have a good time. Yo, they went jet skiing and was living their best life. Like they forgot that everybody else was at the party. They were living their best life. Like, screw y'all. We're going to do us. You do you. We're going to do us. And I mean, everybody looked over. I mean, you saw Amy look over to see them jet skiing. Laura looked over there to see them jet skiing. And it's like, okay, good. This thing is over. I don't care. We're living our best life. Living their best life. And they had so much fun. And I was like, dang, that is the I don't give a F moment. Sorry, I don't get that. I do not care. And they both didn't care. I can't wait for the reunion because that's going to be like one of the parts I'm looking forward to. Like, I hope they ask that question. Like, when y'all went jet skiing, what were y'all thinking? Like, we don't care. Jeremy gave that attitude the whole time. Like, I don't care. You don't want to be with me? Fine. All right. And it started to rub off on Sarah Ann. Like, okay, if he's feeling that way, he's my protector. I don't care. She didn't care the fact that AD was like, you know what? That was still his wife to be. She didn't care about nothing at that part. She was like, you know what? I got my man. And I don't care about none of y'all. So I'm sure Jeremy and Sarah and continue the rest of the episode with the rest of this party having a great time, because guess what? They had me wanting to go jet skiing, right? Make me want to go jet skiing. They were having so much fun. But the situation is wrong. Laura is totally heartbroken. Laura is like, you know what? At the end of the day, he should have just chose her. I didn't want to do the show. Mentions she teared up in the confessional and said, I will never see or talk to Jeremy again. So we'll see if she reaches. And I think she means that from the bottom of her heart, that she'll never reach out to them. Did she have a role to play in this? Yeah. A minute role. When she realized that he was in love with somebody else. Don't force relationships. When you see your partner in love with somebody else, it's time to cut it off. He's not changing his love. He's not letting it go. He can never let it go. And that's what it was. And when he saw her, it could have been better. Until he saw her, I think he probably was fine. But when he saw her and that door was open and they spent them 3 or 4 hours together sitting there talking in a car, they didn't just talk about what happened in the pod. It was some deep communication going on. It was some deep relationship stuff going on. It was some deep, like, I miss you, I love you, I care about you, I wish you would have been with me type stuff going on in that car between Jeremy and or not even the car, in that conversation between Jeremy and Sarah and Laura got booted out. All right, she got booted out. Oh man, but it's what it is, right? Another couple bites the dust. We know this couple is down. We see here now some of these couples are getting ready for marriages, and they start going out and start planning for the marriages. We see Jimmy and Chelsea go make ice sculpture, and they talk about how sure they were about each other, right? They continue to affirm each other and give each other grace and continue to tell each other they love each other and how things were going to be better when they get married. I don't know if things are going to be better, but this moment was better. The ice sculpture was pretty cool as they were sculpting this thing. So each couple did something together. We see AD and Clay take on a sneaker painting class, man, which is pretty cool. Had some, I believe, Air Force Ones, and they went out there and started painting sneakers. And they get deep in their bond closer together. AD painted wedding sneakers, man. It was great. I mean, her stuff was nice. It was smooth to the point where Clay was like, yo, you going to retire and you go paint sneakers for life? But nah, they had a good time. And I like to see the growth. I'm glad I saw the growth or seeing the growth between AD and Clay during this season. During the season, right? Is Clay there all the way there yet? No, not 100%. Has he gotten better from where he was at in the beginning when he was in the pod? Sure. Is AD holding him accountable for his actions and behavior? That's what you want to see. You want somebody to hold you accountable, and she's been holding him accountable and been holding him down, and they move into the marriage. Because we know from the last episode, Clay was like worried about marriage. Like, yo, like, what if I go to the altar and we say no, but we still date? And AD was like, no, we can't go to the altar and go to this process and not date. I did this to be married, not to be boyfriend, or not in a long-term engagement or anything like this. I did this so we can be married. And I'm glad to see that Clay has kind of come around to her way of thinking. Like, you know what? I might as well get married to this girl. And he started to push back his fears of divorce, push back his fears for what his parents have gone through and what he's done. So we starting to see Clay. Move in a better light, right? Clay's starting to do something different with his life. Amy and Johnny spoke at length about how they can make birth control work. Dude, this part right here was funny to me because Johnny said, I did some research on vasectomy. And I said this in the other video. Like, he didn't know what vasectomy were. Like, they can be reversed, but reversing is difficult. It wasn't like you tie a bow in the situation and then you just, when you're ready to have kids, you untie it. Like, it is a surgical procedure. And why would you go through it twice, right? Why wouldn't you just somehow control birth control, whether it's her on birth control, whether you got to use a condom all the time, whatever case may be, control the narrative and control the behavior. And so both of you guys can do it. It could be something that not necessarily ingesting pills that you can do. It can be stuff that's IUD. It can be all kinds of things that can prevent pregnancy. He even talked about some experimental drug they're using to make the guy's sperm less potent. Like, why would you even go to the length of that to make sure that y'all don't have kids? Like, either you're gonna have sex protected or you're not gonna have sex protected. But the whole vasectomy, experimental drugs, that type stuff, nonsense. She talked about her being anemic again and how she wants to didn't want all this stuff being in her body. Well, there's other things other than pills to prevent pregnancy, right? There's other things to do that. So she needs to go talk to her OBGYN, her gynecologist doctor, and figure out, what can I do? And we need my husband not to have kids right now. What can I do? We're not going to do the surgery thing. I don't want to do the birth control pills. What can I do, like, to help me out that will not affect my body? She needs to have a deeper discussion. Google it. WebMD, gynecologist, friend who's a nurse practitioner, something. She needs to go do one of those things in order to. Did I say they won't get pregnant? It is what it is, but it's cute. It's cute seeing them together. Then we see the ladies go wedding dress shopping, right? They go wedding dress shopping and then we see the groom go tuxedo shopping, and you start to see the personality. It starts to sink in for the ladies. It starts to get real, right? It starts to get real. AD in her dress, showing her leg, crying, sobbing, right, when she see herself in her dress. Chelsea recognized talking about how her first dress she bought off of eBay for $100 when she was 18 and got married. It was beautiful, but again, it's not the experience that she wants to experience, and how she's experiencing this with her friends, and how Amy experienced this with her mom, who she breaks in tears. So you can see the three women who are buying dresses, how this is affecting them emotionally. Even the men, right? The men, when they putting on tuxedos, trying it, like reality starts to sink in. I remember when I was getting ready to get married, like tuxedo shopping or going dress shopping, and or whatever case may be, it starts to sink in when you get into that moment. It makes them feel like, you know what, we accomplished, we went through something, we've gone to the point. Now it's time for a wedding day, right? It's time for us to step down that aisle and again, nervousness sets in, emotion sets in, feelings set in, all this sets in. But you're around your friends, you're around your boys, you're around your girls, and people start to relax a little bit. And the reality of it, you know what? I'm going to be married in a short day, a day or two. I'm going to be married in, I think it's a week here. We're going to be married. And so it is refreshing. We see Clay, man. Clay rolls out pull out all the stops here. Clay takes AD on a date on the top of a rooftop. They get emotional, right? Over dinner, talking about life and talking about marriage, and talking about how he would be great to be married to AD, and the movement, the emotions are flowing here, right? As I mentioned, Clay showed growth. It's been growth here. All right, he showed the growth that he needed to grow, and AD held him accountable, and now that's why they can get to this point now. I know, and it's good to see black love, right? I'm the guy. It's good to see black love, and this black couple is making it at least to the wedding, at least making it to their wedding, right? I believe both of them are going to say yes, but it's good to see black couples actually be successful on this Love is Blind show. I know there've been some in the past, but again, for right now, it is good to see these two guys, AD and Clay, get to where it's at. AD said, look, she felt elated, right? She felt elated at Clay, where she's at in life. She wanted to be married. She started tearing up in the confessional. Clay said he's going to be a great father to their kids. Like, this is the different Clay, right? Clay basically said, I'm not going to be like my dad. My dad was a great dad, but he cheated on my mom. But I'm going to be a great father. I'm going to work. I'm going to do everything I need to do. And I think they can balance their life, right? The biggest issue now is time management. Can they balance their life, put the finances together, and have a productive life for the kids, a successful life? Will he spend enough time at home between all the things that he's doing? I think this can be worked out with communication. So Clay and AD, they're excited, they're ready to get married. And we'll see what happens in episode number 12. You see Amy and Johnny, they went camping. Yeah, they went camping. I think you call it glamping. They went glamping, and it was a pleasant surprise, man. I went over how surprising in this point of their lives that Amy and Johnny are like thick as thieves. Like, if all they talking about here, if the only drama they had was the fact that they don't want kids right away, and she's trying to figure out how to have to put birth control or get on birth control without changing the makeup of her body. This was a good season for them, right? The drama between her dad really wasn't any drama. We made him seem like he was much meaner than what he really was, and it wasn't. It was easy for them. Johnny and Amy are very happy, and I think this relationship is one of those relationships that will last forever. We're gonna be talking about Love is Blind and Johnny and Amy having babies soon. Johnny and Amy still being married when we get to the reunion. This works, right? This works for them. They enjoyed the camping. They had a great time. It was good. It was good. Nothing crazy happened, and it's good. All right, it's great for them. Then we move on to we got 3 days until the wedding. Jimmy and Chelsea went on a amusement park date. Kara wins. They shut the park down. It looked like they shut the park down for them. They had dinner. They went over the argument a couple weeks or happened ago. I mean, stop going over arguments, right? Stop going over past situations. Enjoy the moment, right? If you want to continue to one thing you got to learn in marriage, stop bringing up old stuff. Once you bury it, once it's finished, it is done. Let it be what it is. Enjoy the moment. And when they learn that, I think this could work. But they're going to have to learn how to stop bringing up old things, old arguments, old discussions, old relationships, old people, old times in the pod, old girlfriends, old connections. Leave that stuff alone. And if they can leave that stuff alone, this might actually work, even though she don't like Megan Fox. It is what it is, right? The amusement park date was great, man. It was good for them to see them and see how much they've grown a little bit. He keeps telling her he loves her so much. I think at this point now he needs to continue to show her, right? I know she wants to be heard and wants to hear it, but you got to keep showing her, right? And then he asked her about her final decision. At this point, don't ask. Don't ask about the final decision. Know that the final decision is going to be what it is, right? I think this is different from what Married at First Sight on decision day. But to me, don't ask her final decision. Let her move in the realm that she's moving in. Be surprised on that day. I know Jack would say, I don't want to be, you're not going to embarrass me on TV. Like, you're not going to embarrass me on TV. We're not going to embarrass each other on TV, but we're all going to recognize that, you know what, this relationship could be better. We're going to recognize and understand, guess what? We're moving in a different realm or different realm of our life. And I love you. You love me. Let's try to work it out. Let's get married. So that's how it ended with her looking gloomy. And that's TV again. Cliffhanger. Make you tune into episode number 12. Which comes out March the 6th. I'm happy I caught up. Started late with these reviews. Caught back up with everybody else. Getting ready for the finale on this. Be ready for the reunion a week later on March 13th. Yo, if you enjoyed the review, if you watched all 20 minutes of this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. As I mentioned earlier, if you're really feeling like you really like this channel, join the membership so we can continue to give you great content, great information. Check out the past shows that I did, the past reviews we did on Love is Blind. Check out some of my Married at First Sight stuff. Check out some of our Ready to Love stuff. Just check out the whole channel. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. If you stayed this long, hit the subscribe button, bell notification. Once again, thank you. Appreciate you. And we'll see you on episode number 12. Peace.